Hi, everyone. My name is Tanay Delima, and I'm the co-founder at Clearbanc. Super excited to be here to share my story and how Clearbanc is democratizing access to capital for entrepreneurs around the world. Quick background on Clearbanc. Clearbanc is the fastest, most affordable way for entrepreneurs to raise capital for their business. We use data science to deploy anywhere between $10,000 and $10 million into e-commerce brands across North America. And this year, we're on track to fund over 2,000 brands and deploy $1 billion in capital in this year in North America. Other news, proudly Canadian, born and raised in Toronto. We've scaled our team from 30 people to just under 200 this year, and we've raised $420 million along the way. That's a big photo of me. Thanks, Jay. It wasn't the journey to get here wasn't easy or straightforward, right? I started my first business right out of university in the e-commerce space, helping makers and artisans be more successful online and find their digital brand. That startup didn't do so well, but it gave me the opportunity and luxury of working with hundreds of different brands to better understand their playbook, figure out what works online, and I saw the opportunity for Clearbanc really early on. If you think about it, it's never been easier to start an e-commerce store. You can spin up a Shopify store in a matter of minutes, and you can start to launch your first Facebook ads quite easily that drives your first sales. Where Clearbanc comes in is we help entrepreneurs double down on that early traction and accelerate their growth and drive revenue for their business. Through our research, we found, and we work with companies everywhere who do this, the best thing an e-commerce brand can do to drive revenue and growth for their business is find a predictable digital acquisition channel that they can invest in to reach their audience. In fact, our research has shown that 40 to 60% of all venture capital dollars are being spent on customer acquisition in some way, shape, or form, and that is the most expensive capital that you're going to raise. Clearbanc provides an alternative to venture capital, offering entrepreneurs a fast, scalable solution where they can deploy capital to accelerate their growth through these repeatable digital acquisition channels. However, you might as well be burning your marketing dollars if you aren't investing in brand while you're driving marketing spend. I'm not going to dive too deep into the tactics behind brand building, but brand building is all about driving authentic customer relationships at scale and building those meaningful connections. We've seen this work time and again across our portfolio of over 2,000 companies, and wanted to share kind of 3 key insights and pillars that whether you're starting a brand or choosing to double down on, you can kind of like incorporate very easily. Number 1 is build a company that you are actually passionate about. Building a business is hard, and the only way you're going to get through the day-to-day grind and the struggle is if you are working on something that you care about. But the key to brand building is you're already halfway there if you do that, because the real magic is when you find people who are passionate about what you are passionate about. So your message is not going to resonate with everyone, but what the trick is to find the consumers who do resonate with their message and really define the market and relentlessly kind of like double down on that and iterate on your messaging to them. Number 2 is tell a compelling story through your product and website. Brand building is all about storytelling. At the end of the day, it really doesn't start on your website alone. It's every piece of content that you put out. It's every page on your website, including your About Us page, each touch point you have with your customer is a unique opportunity to build trust and that relationship with your customer at scale. So you should really cherish those moments. There are hundreds of thousands of e-commerce websites online today. So why should customers choose to give you their money? So tell them what you're passionate about, why you started the business, what you care about, what you stand for. These types of messages resonate much better than kind of any sort of product features or spec lists that may or may not be better than the competition. The last is invest in data analytics to drive feedback for your business. Brand building is oftentimes kind of characterized as this nebulous concept which exists out there in the ether, and it's really hard to measure. That's not true at all. If you set up the right KPIs and invest in the right tools, you can run your experiments on a week-to-week basis and iterate on your messaging, and as long as you're incorporating that feedback loop, you will get better. where you really get good and where you really start to see the exponential growth is once you've defined your customer segments, you can start to personalize the customer journey, and that's when you really start to see some revenue growth. Hopefully those were some valuable insights that I could narrow it down in this short period of time. But yeah, excited to dig into this a little bit more in the panel.